Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome. Welcome. All right. First and foremost, thank you guys so much for being here, listening to each and every one of you for taking the time to listen and hopefully getting something out of this. But I really, really appreciate you so much. Okay, let's get started. Again, going into this with no notes, seeing what happens, seeing what comes up, seeing what's here right now. Okay, so this sparked, I had a conversation last week with someone, and this sparked the thinking around this issue because I think a lot of people go through this. I think a lot of people work through this. I think especially the society we're living in today, there's a lot of people that are working through this specific mentality, and that is the mindset of rushing to get to somewhere or rushing to get to the next thing. And that could be literally in your day, getting to work, for example, or in your life, right? Getting to the next stage. And I think, well, how you are in one thing is how you are in everything, right? So if you're doing it to get to work, you're probably doing it in your life. If you're doing it in your life long term, you're probably doing it in other areas of your life because it really comes down to a mentality, an embodied thing that you're used to doing. So if you're doing it in one area, most likely you're doing it in all areas, right? Again, how you are in one thing, how you are in something is how you are in everything. And that could be a total topic on its own, right? To apply to your life. But getting to that mentality of rushing. I think so many of us have been here. So many of us go through this. So many of us are working through this. And when we figure out the why, again, when we figure out why we're doing it, when we figure out what triggers it, what the reason behind it, when we're healing, again, in this process, when we're healing, we get to then change and use that as a change for moving forward then in our life so that we're not doing that anymore, so that we can actually enjoy, right? So the mentality of rushing to the next thing. Because if this is what you're doing, if all life, everything in life comes down to living in the present moment, that's literally only where life exists. Life only exists right now in this exact moment. So, this exact moment as when I'm talking, this exact moment as when you're hearing this and this lands with you, that is where life is happening in this literal moment. It's not what happened in your past. It's not what happened yesterday. It's not what is happening or what you want to be happening 5 years from now. It's not what you want to be happening 10 minutes from now, or it's not where, like, say we use the car example where it's not getting to work or you being at work. It's literally you being in the car, maybe stuck in traffic. This is where real life is happening, right? This is where real life is happening. This is where your life is happening. And this is where the magic is. The magic is in every single moment. The magic is in the present moment, every single one. Right? No matter where you are, that's where real life is. Even if you're in a situation you don't necessarily want to be in, even if you're in a situation that you want to be ahead of yourself, you don't want to be here where you are in your life, you have all these goals, you want to be XYZ, you want to be here, you want to be more forward. That's not where life is happening. Life is happening right with you, right within you in that exact moment. So, how do we realize this is happening? How do we realize where we are in this mindset, this state of constantly rushing to get to the next thing. And I have 100% been here on my own. I have found, even with vacations or events or things that I looked forward to and couldn't wait to get to, right? Has this ever happened to you? You plan a vacation 6 months, a year, can't wait to get there, can't wait to relax, right? You're working all the time, can't wait to get there. And are you able to fully be there? Can you relax? Can you be fully present? Or because you are in this constant state of rushing to get to the next, to get to the next, to get to the next, are you still in that state when you get to the vacation, when you get to that thing that you're looking forward to, when you get to that next thing in life, right? How does that work? And ask yourself this question now. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been in that mindset, in that state? Okay, so like for the example of life in general, I think a lot of us do rush to get to certain milestones in our life, right? To get engaged, to get married, to have kids, right? To have the house, to build the life. Like that's what we're building, that's what we're working towards. And are we rushing through that? Are you rushing through the good stuff? Okay, dating can be annoying, but it can also be fun. Like, yes, we all want to be with our forever person and we all want to be there. And though, how can we enjoy where we are right now? Because again, that's where the magic is, right? That's where we grow. That's where we're living. That is where life is happening. And this is totally different than having goals and having ambitions and knowing what you want and having your vision board and having your future self. But your future self is right here within you. Because when we truly look at why we're doing this in our life, why are we rushing to get to the next thing, right? If you're getting engaged, using this as an example, you're constantly thinking about the wedding, the planning. Are you enjoying being engaged? You get to the wedding, what's next? Having kids, maybe, right? Getting a house, right? Are you enjoying where you're at, living your life? Or are you constantly rushing to the next thing, rushing to the next thing? And I just had a thought that was so important and I lost it. Rushing to the next thing. Oh, when you're at that point, right? So when you're at the point of, say, being engaged, still using this as an example, this can be applied to anywhere, anything in your life. When you get to that point, you're thinking about the next thing, right? The wedding, or what's next, when in reality, you were wishing that you were where you are now. And you're missing out if you're not seeing that. Because someday in the past, you couldn't wait to be in this moment, right? You couldn't wait to meet the love of your life and be engaged. And then if you're constantly thinking about the next thing, you're missing out on something you actually once did wish for, once did work for, once did strive for. You are your future self now. That's the person that you once were thinking you were. So you don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out on life, because where you are right now, no matter what, you have something, or you are something, or you are a way that you wanted to be, that you worked for, right? So you don't want to miss out on that. So how can we see this? And how can we get to the point where we can shift, we can change, we can enjoy? Because whether it's societal, I mean, and it really does come from all of these things. Society, it comes from past life experience, healing, like the trauma, healing. It comes from what we were told, what we thought. it comes really from when we're getting down to this, a lack of something, right? Because when we think of wanting to be somewhere, wanting something in our life, there's a lack of something, right? Because there's a huge difference between wanting something, wanting to be in a specific spot in your life, and being fully grateful, fully fulfilled, fully feeling enough where you are right now, right? So figuring out where this rush feeling comes from, figuring out the why behind it, seeing then what it's costing you. So all these things will help us heal. All these things will help us get to the root cause. In which case we can then, once we see it, it doesn't have a hold of us anymore. Once we see it, once we heal it, it doesn't have a hold of us anymore, and we can truly live and enjoy our life. So coming back to these things, it's lack mentality, right? We're feeling the lack of something. It is, healing, a healing process. It's the why behind it, why behind we're doing it, right? But if you're getting back to, so let's start with the lack mentality. So asking yourself why you're feeling this way. Why are you feeling rushed? Why are you feeling like you need to be somewhere in your life or have something in your life? Why is that feeling? Where is that coming from? And thinking about what you feel like you don't have right now, and what will this thing get you? Because that's usually where it comes from. We think once we get to a certain point, we're magically going to be happy, fulfilled, feel like we're enough, feel like, whatever it is, safety, productive. That's not the right word I'm thinking of, but whatever it is, there's a million different things that we want. Love, like whatever, self-love, happiness, fulfillment, whatever those things and whatever that is that we are lacking now, I can tell you that the outside external things are never going to give you that, right? So getting back to the lack and what you are truly searching for, because it's never actually those things. It's always what you're feeling. It's the feeling around it. So if you're lacking fulfillment, if you're not feeling like you're enough, if you are not feeling good enough, if you're not feeling loved, if you're not feeling safe, if you're not feeling self-love, if you're not feeling productive or successful, that was the word, accomplishment, trying to prove something to other people, right? There's this lack of something that we're missing something. We feel this missing, this void of something. And that's why we're in a rush to get to that thing that we think is going to cure it, that we think is going to stop that feeling. When in reality, if you see that feeling now, you can stop it now. If you see and get to the root cause, you can actually have that thing now, which is the feeling. It's not the actual thing, it's the feeling. It's the feeling of feeling good enough now. It's the feeling of feeling successful now, grateful now, happy now. No other things are going to give you that. You create that on your own, and then get to that stuff, get to all that good stuff, then get to enjoy it, because you're coming from a place of joy and love and freedom and safety and self-love and all the things that you want now right here. You're able to then be present, to then enjoy what you have right in front of you, not feeling that lack and not rushing then to get to that next thing, right? You actually get to have it now, because it's not the actual thing and things, it's the actual feeling. It's the feeling of whatever it is that you think you're missing, right? Do you guys see that? Okay, I'm checking time. And the dogs are barking, so that's kind of messing me up. Okay, perfect. All right, guys, so let's see, trying to wrap up anything else that we can come to a conclusion on this? So it's really going back to allowing yourself to be in the present moment. That is where you want to be, right? Coming back to the why. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling rushed? Because there's so much that goes into that, right? So much that goes into the why behind that, and asking yourself the questions. And what I'll actually do is post some, I'm not sure how much I can post in the links, but I'll post some journal questions and some questions to ask yourself. Because really coming to the why and getting extremely honest, brutally honest with yourself. Why? Why am I feeling like this? Am I competing with other people in my life? Am I competing, trying to prove something to other people? And is it societal pressure? Is it me feeling like I'm not good enough and I'll be happy when I get here. I'll be happy when I get this. Someone else will make me happy. When I have the relationship, that's going to make me happy. Getting fully honest with yourself. Is it a lack of something else in your life? You never felt loved as a child, so you need that right now. You need that from someone else. You need validation, right? You need to prove yourself by making X amount of money, right? You need that validation from money, from other people, whatever it is, right? Being extremely honest, being in the present moment, being with your feelings, and being fully honest, because you're never going to figure out all these things or heal if you're lying to yourself, right? You're not hurting anyone else but yourself by lying to yourself. You're not trying to look a certain way or prove anything to anybody else by lying to yourself. So getting fully honest, being in the present moment, looking at the why am I feeling this way? And then getting to the lack. What am I lacking? What am I lacking here? What am I lacking that I could create right now within myself with my own feelings? Getting to those feelings and creating those feelings within yourself first. And then I would say one of the last things to look at, and I just lost that too, but what I'll do is post these questions in the notes, some journal prompts and things to ask yourself. Getting into the moment, getting present with yourself, being fully, brutally honest with yourself. And then I just remembered the other thing is look at what it's costing you. So look at what you're losing out on by rushing and getting to the next thing. You're losing out on the magic of the moments. You're losing out on living some of your life that maybe you need to be living right now, or meant to be living right now, that you won't ever get back getting to the next thing because you're rushing because you missed out. Right? So what it's costing you, you want to look at that. You want to look at the why behind it. Why are you doing it? And you want to look at the lack, whatever it is that you're lacking, that you're trying to create with all these other things, with getting to this destination that you can truly create right now in your life, right, you guys? Because we don't want to miss out. This is where the magic happens, whether it's a good part in our life or a bad part or a hard time or great times or joyful. This is what it is to be in this human experience. This is what it is to be living this life in full self-discovery, healing yourself, growing, up-leveling, becoming the best possible version of you, right, you guys? This is where we want to be. We want to be in these magic moments, in this magic moment that you are in right now. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Let me know if you have questions as always, and we will talk soon. Bye.